Hello, I'm going to take you through the vocabulary instruction for Module 1 this week. You should have clicked on this link right here, which for you will be blue and underlined. It is not there yet because I am going to input it here in a second. For your vocab words, you have 5 words today, all right, which is a lot, and that's why I'm going to go through these. However, you should be familiar with some of these already. So the first word is Treaty of Versailles, which you guys wrote an entire DBQ about. But it was the agreement between Germany and the Allied powers that ended World War I, and it held Germany responsible for the war and imposed harsh consequences on Germany. So it was extremely unfair and told Germany that they needed to do many, many things that just weren't actually possible. And it led to World War II because the Treaty of Versailles made Germany so weak that they turned to Adolf Hitler and the Nazis to save them. So people were really upset. They were morally depressed, but also did not have money. And so Hitler came around and started saying, you learned this, but Hitler came around and started saying, like, I'm going to save Germany. We are the best people in the world. We do not deserve this. And people bought into that, right? And he did. I mean, they got out of the economic depression under his leadership. So people looked to him to be able to get over what the Treaty of Versailles did to Germany. Your second word is Japanese expansion. You already learned about this because I already talked to you about it, but this was a time period between 1931 and 42 in which Japan attacked and took control of other countries in the Pacific. So right here you'll see, I know this is kind of tough to see, but this is the Pacific Ocean. This is Japan, and this is where it's red are the places that they went in and took over as their own land. Japan invaded Manchuria in 1931 and China in 1937 to gain power and resources. So this is actually, Manchuria is now today part of China. At the time it was not. But they started taking over this area here and claiming it as their own. Fascism is a word that we have already learned before. It is a form of government where a country is controlled by one party and one dictator. The government controls all parts of the people's lives, and argument is not allowed. Remember, if you say anything that is against the leader of the government, you are going to be either imprisoned or executed. Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini are both examples of fascist dictators. This word appeasement, okay? Appeasement means the action of giving someone what they want in order to avoid a conflict, okay? Britain and France tried to use the policy of appeasement with Hitler because they did not want another war. So it means that even if you don't agree with someone, you don't like what they're doing, instead of having conflict with them, you want to avoid conflict altogether, and you just say, okay, fine, I'll do whatever you want, right? Maybe like when your parents get on you about something, right? And you don't agree with what they're saying, but you don't want to have conflict. You just want to do what you're told, and you're like, okay, fine, Mom, I'll do whatever you say, right? That is an example of appeasement. And Britain and France, even though they knew in the early 30s, mid 30s, that Hitler wasn't keeping up Germany's end of the Treaty of Versailles, they were like, listen, we just went through a huge world war. We don't want that to happen again. So we're gonna let Hitler kind of do his thing slowly, right? Like keeping an eye on him, but saying like, okay, Hitler, you can take part of that land back. It was yours already. The treaty was too harsh. That was your land. You can take it back. But pretty soon, Hitler started going into Austria, right? Which was I shouldn't say never, but was not part of Germany's land. And he was taking over and claiming it that he was the ruler, okay? He was taking over part of Czechoslovakia, claiming he was the ruler, okay? And that whole time, France and Britain were just kind of in the back, like keeping an eye, but saying like, we're not going to get involved with this. And unfortunately, it kept adding up, and he kept going into countries and taking over countries where finally they had to step up. And then the Great Depression, you guys know about this, a period of time from 1929 to the start of World War II where the global economy collapsed and there was widespread unemployment, poverty, and suffering. So the Great Depression left countries so weak and poor that the leaders like Hitler were able to use people's desperation to gain power. So what you're going to do now is take those 5 words and plug them into these sentences. Okay? So for this is number 6. Blank is a form of government led by evil dictators who often believe that their race and people are superior to others. So let's take a look. Could Treaty of Versailles be there? Treaty of Versailles is a form of government? No, it is not. How about appeasement? Appeasement is a form of government. Well, appeasement's not a form of government. Appeasement is like a policy or a way that people would act. So it is not appeasement. Let's see, fascism. Fascism is a form of government, true, led by evil dictators who often believe that their race and people are superior to others. Yeah, that explains fascism really well. So I'm going to plug fascism in here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead. Actually, I don't know if I can cross off here, but I'll just underline it, showing me that I have already selected it. And I'm going to go on to number 7. So you guys are going to do 7, 8, 9, and 10 on your own.